All right, guys, so we have an evaporator coil to do in a 5-ton York RTU, basically brand new. So the guys installed it. A couple weeks later, they went back for a no heating. The evaporator coil had a leak. It is what it is. So we're going back today, a couple more weeks later, to replace the evaporator coil and get this unit back up and running. So this is a 2-stage heat, 2-stage cool heat pump. And let me tell you how a 2-stage heat, 2-stage cool heat pump works. So 2-stage heat, 2-stage cool heat pump, you're gonna have a 2-stage compressor. And when you're running in cooling mode, you have a call on Y1, your first stage of cooling. Your compressor is gonna start in first stage. It's gonna run about 65%, whatever that particular compressor first stage is designed for. Typically it's about 65%. And then when your second stage of cooling kicks in, you're going to go run at 100% compressor. Now in heating mode, it's a little different if you have a 2-stage heat pump. When you have a call for stage 1 heating, both stages of your compressor are going to come on. When you have a call for stage 2 heating, your heat pack's going to come on. That can be a little confusing, but that's the way it works. So first stage of heating comes on, both stages of your compressor come on. Second stage of heating is your heat pack. Now, if you have a 3-heat 2-cool unit, then you can stage your compressor in heating. First stage heat brings on first stage compressor, second stage heat brings on second stage compressor. A lot of units are not set up like that though. Like the unit I'm working on today, that's not set up like that. First stage of heating means both stages of the compressor in heat mode. Just remember that, guys. You got to know what you're working on and be trained and just kind of know from unit to unit how the thing's running, how it's wired, and how it's going to work. So, all right, guys, let's get into this call. Let's get this coil changed out. Let's go. All right, here's our evap coil. I'm not sure where it's leaking at because I wasn't the one who diagnosed this, but here she is. Can't wait to see the new one to see if I have to sweat in all these cap tubes. That would be just like York to make us have to do that. Let me get her taken apart. We'll get this old one out. All right, we still got refrigerant in the system. I was under the impression it was flat, but it's not. So we're gonna have to pump it down, but I don't have any means of electricity up here. So this unit here is 3-phase, but it's 208, 230 3-phase. We're just gonna test, we're just gonna confirm that here. Where are we at? Okay, so this, I believe, is our line coming in. Yeah, 211. Now this, if this was 240 3-phase, we would have had a high leg. And then you need to be careful when you have a high leg when you hook up a cheater cord for 120 volts, because one of those legs is going to be like 200 volts. So if you do have 240 3-phase, just make sure you don't jump onto a high leg. We got 120 there, 122 there, and 122 there. So we're good. We can hook up on any one of those. All right, we're getting her recovered down now. While I'm doing that, I got most of the screws out of the top, but oh, somebody's already popped this screw. I was gonna say, this one will trick you. This one will get you down here. Whenever you pop this top, you gotta make sure you take that screw out. But this one's already been taken out and no one put it back. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this top off. It's windy out here today, so I can't use my canopy. I tried putting it up, but it started blowing it all over the place, and I don't have anywhere to really tie it down at. Somebody mentioned getting some sandbags, and I should probably do that, but then I got to store them somewhere on the truck. But whenever it's windy like this, you want to make sure anytime you take your panels off, you want to lay them down flat, because the wind will take them away. And these guys are gonna be loose here, but it is what it is. Wish I might actually put a screw back in this to hold it up so it's not flopping, because that's got my disconnect. All right, we got our filters out, filter rack out and everything. All this is gonna have to come apart. I'm about to go down right now and see exactly what they sent to see. I doubt they gave me a new TXV installed. That would be pretty sweet of them if they did, but I really doubt they did. I'm at least just hoping they piped out all the cab tubes. Someone must have filled this back with refrigerant, because we actually have a right decent amount of refrigerant in here. I should have waited when I was taking it out, but I didn't, like an asshole. Alright, let's take a look at that new coil. So they did send a new TXV installed, so that's pretty cool of them. We're gonna get this taken off and get this up on the roof. All right, so we're getting this broken down now. I don't think I'm gonna take all these wires off because that's a lot of extra work, but they run through this top plate here that sits on top here. So I went ahead and just took it off. I should be able to finagle this thing around to not have to take this all the way off. So my vacuum or my recovery is done, down to about 10. Yeah, I should have weighed that bringing it out, but whatever, it's too late now. I'm trying to look for a data plate on this thing, wherever that got to, because I'm curious how much it actually holds. It must be on one of those panels down there, but oh well. And yeah, I'm actually really surprised they sent a new TXV with that. I am pumped about that. So I'll just have to unsweat it down there. And then let's see, yep, they have a stub out for the suction right there, which is going to be right here. Two brazes, we're good to go. Where's my filter dryer? Wow, I don't see oh, here we go. There's my filter dryer right here. So that's actually in a decent spot too. So not going to be bad at all. Not going to be bad at all, guys. Recovery's almost done. Get to work. All right. This I'll probably unsweat so I don't have to. Well, that's weird. Is this one switched? Okay, this end is switched. Okay. For some reason I was thinking that end wasn't switched. So I could cut it. You know what? I might just cut it so I don't have to worry about it. I might just cut it here. I'll have enough play there where I can ram that into my other one. And I'm also going to cut as close to the TXV there as I can. You know, that way I don't have to unsweat this thing and heat it up unnecessarily. I think I have enough play there where I can cut both sides and I'll be good to go. So I'm about to do that now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this as close to this solder joint, braze joint, as I can. Kicking off to the side. Oh, there's a glob right there. All right, let's walk it back a little bit further. I'm still cutting it, I don't care. I'll make it fit. I'll make that baby fit. Here we go. Alright, let's get this baby cut. Cut the one underneath too. I've had this pipe cutter maybe 12 years. She hasn't failed me yet. I am missing the nut right here, so it does get a little wobbly sometimes, but she still cuts fine. Guys, I think this rain's gonna pass soon. It's not really raining that hard, but it's kind of just enough to piss you off. So I do have a little bit of refrigerant left. I'm trying to let the rest of it weep out. So after I do this though, shouldn't be much left in it. Yeah, see, That'll actually make it probably, what they're doing in there, that'll make that pipe even straighter. All right, we got to cut all this off too so I can get my TXV bulb out. So I got my TXV bulb off. I still left the bracket there. I also had this little sensor here, coil temperature sensor. Kind of foobarred my Armaflex, but whatever. I'm still got to get in there. That's my only connection left. I'm just going to cut that as close to the TXV as possible. This baby is loose though. I can move that around if I want to. So I'm going to get in there and cut that pipe, and then my whole coil will loose. All right, hole where the coil used to be, she's over there. Our new one's right here. About to set this baby in place here in 1 minute. I just want to make sure all my prep work's done. We are raining here, so we want to make sure we don't get any moisture inside, or at least any droplets inside of our refrigeration piping. Now we're going to pull a good deep vacuum on this, but we do want to make sure we're not getting any moisture in there and have to put our vacuum pump through any more work than it needs to be. Rain's picking up a little bit, so I'm hoping it stops soon, but I am going to cover up this electrical compartment with something so we're not tearing nothing up here. So we'll put this over top of here just so we're protecting that a little bit. Let's move it down a little bit so all of it's covered. VFD there so we don't want to get wet. So there we go. Really, I don't want to get any of this wet, but I really would like to protect that VFD and the electrical components. So this rain stops soon. All right, so now while I'm right here, I'm going to pull this cover off probably so I can get to this filter dryer better. And I think that I might be able to cut too, but I actually might unsweat this filter dryer just because there's not a whole lot of piping to play with there. I was told when I was trained that you're always supposed to cut out a TXV or cut a filter dryer out, but I'm really not sure what the significance of that is. But sometimes you can cut them out, but a lot of times you can't because you only got so much space to work with. Got our nitro flowing. We're about to unsweat that filter dryer there. The rain's picked up a little. I haven't started to unsweat this yet, but it's like 10:38 right now, and it says it's supposed to die down about 11:15, so it's actually died down a little bit now. It's like off and on. I hate rain. Every time I have a roof job, it rains, guys, and it's crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I was debating on putting my canopy back up, but then because the wind isn't as bad as it was, but it is still blowing some, and that thing is a fucking sail. So if any little bit of wind gets underneath of it, it's taking it away. And I don't have anything to tie it off on up here. Like the other week, I was at the that heat exchanger, and I had two privacy walls to each side of me, and I was able to tie it to that, and that actually helped with the wind a lot. But today I'm in a wide open roof. There's nothing to tie down on. We're just gonna have to tough this one out, guys. All right, guys, I got the old TXV out. I'm sorry, the old filter dryer out. Here's the new filter dryer I'm putting in. But here is the wet rag by Refrigeration Technologies Viper. This is my first opportunity being able to use this. I've used the new Calgon ThermoTrap many times. They say this is better. It forms better, it works better, so we're gonna have to try this guy and see how well it works. I'm gonna pack the ends here so I don't burn this paint. All right, so we got our new filter dryer in now. The wet rag stuff, I really don't see a difference between it and the new Calgon kind. I mean, I ran out of oxygen midway through, so I probably torched this a little more than I had to, but it seemed like it formed the same way. A lot of it did dry out, so I'm gonna have to use it a little more before I can make a determination if this is actually better than the ThermoTrap putty by New Calgon. So we'll have to make that determination later. But we got our new filter dryer sweat in. We're about to set our evap coil and get that sweat in. All right, so we got our new coil in. We're just putting the brackets and stuff in now. We're gonna get this piped up here in a minute, but after we get all our brackets in, make sure we're good there. I am gonna have to see my new TXV on my new one is up way higher than what my piping is, so I'm gonna have to push that down. But my external equalization tube seems like it's shorter than the other one. I don't know, but we'll get it figured out. But this has got to go way down. All right, we got all our screws in. We have to connect our lines now. I actually still have refrigerant coming out. It's not much, but it is some. But you can see that'll line up pretty good. I get it pulled in there. That'll line up good. And then this guy, I might even have too much pipe on this now. But I do need to get that lowered easily. I should have done it more while we had it out, but I have to lower that and still not bend our cap tubes. So that might be a job. All right, we got the Viper wet rag packed around the TXV. It's in a very weird spot here, but I'll have to do my best brazing it. But that's what that wet rag stuff is for, so you can get it hot without damaging the components. So we're gonna have to braze that here in 1 minute. We got our suction line mocked up too, so the bulb's in place. After I sweat this guy, we can put all this Armaflex back on. We'll tape it back. I did tear it up good and proper, but we'll fix it. The sensor will go back on too. I'm not going to put that on until I get done brazing, though. I don't want to damage this sensor. Really, it's just a 10K sensor, but still don't want to damage it. All right, it actually didn't go that bad. I got it brazed up pretty easily, and it actually doesn't look bad either. So I knocked that one out real quick, and then we got this one knocked out. Not a bad looking braze job, if I do say so myself. Maybe a little bit of ugly coming around here. Let me jump in real quick and talk about the Viper wet rag. So it worked just about the same as the Thermotrap putty by New Calgon. I'm gonna have to use it a little more to say if it's better or not. I will say this though, the wet rag seemed like it dried out faster than the Thermotrap does. I know you can add water to it and bring it back to life, but it seemed like it dried out faster than the Thermotrap does. But I'm gonna have to use it a little more to make a determination which one's better, but as it stands right now, they're about the same. All right, back to the service. All right, we're blowing our nitro off now. We had her sitting on 400. It was kind of oily through here, so I kept a lot of this, but I think we're good there. Not sure what all that's about. Maybe from someone's gauges, but we're gonna blow the nitro and then we're gonna pull it back. All right, we're pulling our vacuum now and putting everything back together. So we're probably gonna head to lunch while this pulls on a vacuum, and we'll see where she's at when we get back. My gas ballast is currently open until I get lower than 1,000 microns. We'll turn this on and see how she's doing. But I want to make sure I pull a good deep vacuum on this one, guys, because where it's been raining today, I'm sure a lot of moisture got in there. So kind of all over the place right now, but make sure this is good and deep before we turn her off. All right, we're down to about 446. I might let that pump a little while longer while I get everything else in order. So everything else is pretty much done, honestly, but just want to make sure we're good here. Pretty smooth, honestly, all things considering. We got a guy down there. Look at him brazing. That's another one of our guys. He's putting in a TXV and fixing some leaks over there. Alright, we're still climbing a little bit. So our decay test is, I would say that's failing. So we're still going to pull for a little while longer. It is steadily coming up. Not terribly fast, but it is rising. So I'm going to let it pull for a little while longer. I don't think we have any leaks anywhere. I think we just have a lot going on here. This is all copper and fin tube. There's no micro channel here. So this unit's built pretty sturdy, even though the freaking evaporator coil leaked after 2 weeks. But there's a lot of piping here, and this thing holds almost 12 pounds of refrigerant. So 11 pounds, 10 ounces. So yeah, almost 12 pounds of refrigerant. So we got a lot of pipe in here, a lot of coil. Let that pull for a while longer, and we'll charge her up. All right, we're filling her up. She's actually taking just about all of it. And it holds 11 pounds, 10 ounces, so I'm actually surprised it's taking this much. Usually they crap out around 6 or 7, but this bad boy's gonna take just about all of it. Probably have to put another pound, maybe 2 in there. Well, if she makes it to 10 pounds, 10 ounces, we only got a pound to go. She's slowing down now. But we're not going to be far off. Alright, she took about 10 pounds, 7, standing. We just turned her on. She's in her startup delay now. We're going to run this baby in cooling mode. It's about 65 degrees out today, but raining and blowing, but it's probably right warm in the space. Haven't been in there, but I'm gonna run it in cooling mode to make sure we get the charge right. Then we'll test it a little bit later in heating mode. Not sure what's up with this panel here. Why isn't this lining up with the way it should? This is weird. It's like up a whole lot higher than it should be. Not sure what the deal is with that. Guys, it got a little weird there towards the end. Wasn't able to film me starting the unit back up and this and that. The low voltage wiring was a weird situation because of his own control down in the space. So I wasn't able to get any of me starting it up. But rest assured, it started fine. It's running fine now, and we're good to go. So yeah, pretty straightforward. It just sucked that it rained off and on all day, but pretty easy coil change there, all things considered. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.